Hello everyone, my name is Mariyana and today I'm here with you to talk about the regression. Have you heard about the regression? Have you heard about the past lives? Okay, today I'll tell you more about that. I'll tell you what is regression, what are the benefits of doing regression, and also I'll tell you what do we do during the process, and also for who is appropriate this practice, and when the time for regression has come for you to do your own regression. Okay, so this video is for you if you're interested in past lives, or if you wanna know or you want to understand some interesting stories, because I'm going to share with you some cases from my work. During my work as a past life regression therapist, I have seen a lot of interesting things and a lot of miracles, because the regression is a practice that gives quick results and really fast results. That's why I like it, and that's why I love doing this, because I see the results. I see the results, my clients' results right after the session. They change, they really change. The faces and the eyes, everything change. They become lighter, they become really relaxed, calm, and they're ready for miracles. Okay, so let's start with the term regression. Regression means when you look back, into the past. Sometimes when you want to remember something, for example, you want to remember your first day at school, or your day of the wedding, or something that has happened before, and this process, remembering, going back into the past, it's regression. This term regression, when we say regression, people connect this term with the past lives. So it's the same regression. You can go in your childhood, you can go in your teenage, or you can go in previous life, in past life. When we do a regression, it's a regression. It doesn't matter if you go back in your past life or you go in your current life, but past years in your childhood or teenage. Okay, and this is interesting about the regression, because from the ancient times, people who were philosophers, yes, some of them, there were two camps. Some of them believed that the soul is mortal, and some of them, the other camp, believed that the soul is immortal. Till nowadays, there are still two camps. Some of the people think that the soul is immortal, and some of the people think that the soul is mortal. For me personally, I do believe that the soul is immortal, and that we come here to the earth to learn lessons, because the earth is a place where we learn lessons, and this is a perfect place to learn how to manage with limitations and how to manage with the emotions. You know, emotions, they are very, very hard for the soul. It is a very hard topic for the soul to manage with it, because only here on the earth there are emotions, and they're here very intense, and they're very heavy for the soul. Okay, okay, and also there are a lot of people who were doing past life regression therapy. They have been doing this for years, for ages, for decades, and they have written books, and all of their books are based on their session with clients. I have read a lot of books, but it's different when you practice it and when you read a book, because sometimes during the practice you really become a witness to a miracle, to miracles. And I have seen a lot of miracles during my sessions with the clients. Okay, and the benefits of doing regression are huge, and that's why I love this practice, and I do it with a big respect and with a lot of love. I really do love doing this, and if someone asks me, in what are you good at, this is this is my field. This is my field that I'm very good at. Okay, so the benefits of doing regression, there are a lot of benefits. I'll start with the first one that I think is very, very, very important. The first benefit of doing regression is that you relax. You relax yourself, you relax your body, you relax your mind, you relax your thoughts, you relax everything. And after the practice, you feel like newborn. You feel really in a different way, because during doing this practice, you forget about everything. You forget about your problems, you forget about your worries, you forget about your daily tasks, you forget about everything. You're just in the process and you're in it, and it's very good. It's like recharging for your body, for your soul, and for your mind. This is, I think, biggest one of the biggest benefit of doing regression, because in our days our life is very dynamic, and I've seen a lot of people that they don't have time for themselves. They don't have time to sit down, to relax, to think, to ask questions to themselves, to think what do they want. And one of the questions when I ask during my sessions before we start the process, I ask, what do you want? What do you dream for? And some of the people don't know, because they lose themselves. You see, we live in a very dynamic world, and we're doing task after task after task, and sometimes we do things very automatically, and we're losing the contact with our inner self. And the regression is also a very good method, a very good practice to refresh the contact with yourself, with your inner child, with your intuition, with your soul. And after this practice, you become more sensitive. You can hear your intuition, you can hear your inner voice, and this practice can learn you to manifest miracles in your life. But you have to learn how to stay in this state of mind, I'll teach you, I'll tell you later. Okay? And another benefit that I want to share with you about the regression is that by this process, you can release fears, you can release negative emotions, you can release something that bothers you for a long time. And also by regression, you can answer to a questions that you cannot find the answer in a custom way. Now something came to my mind right now when I said about the questions, and you can answer to every question you have using regression, and you can address all the problems. It doesn't matter the problem on what kind of topic is it about your work, is it about your life, personal life, is it about your life, about your relationship, is it about your kids, is it about how you feel or why do you feel this way. All these things you can address to the regression, and regression really gives interesting answers, very interesting answers, and people say, oh my god, I have never think that the answer could be this. It's very simple. I couldn't think about this. Yeah, and I said yes. The process is like this. It's interesting, and it is very interesting, and sometimes I don't know the right words. I cannot find the right words to tell and to explain what actually is, because with words it's hard to explain and to say all the things that I have seen in my sessions. It is a practice that you have to feel, you have to see, you have to explore, and yeah, it's a very good practice. So on 5th of October at 5 p.m. Bulgarian time, I have a group past life regression for love. It is very interesting, and it is for you. It doesn't matter if you have a partner or you don't have a partner. In this group regression, we work about our feelings about ourselves, and we work about these feelings. Do we feel ourselves like valuable, like precious, and do we believe that we deserve? Because if we believe that we deserve, we would have the life and the relationship and the marriage of our dreams. So this is a good practice. I recommend it to you. So try it, see if it's your method, your process. I'm sure you will like it, because it's really interesting. Because as I said earlier, you stay with your emotions, you stay with your thoughts, you stay with your feelings, and in this time during the regression, we ask questions, and also you can ask your own questions, and you will see, you will be very surprised, I'm sure. Okay, so this is really interesting and good practice, and I really do recommend it to you. But first of all, you have to believe in this process, and you have to trust this process, because sometimes if you are like this, if you believe but you don't trust, it's not gonna work. For this process you have to trust, and it doesn't matter how you will manifest, and how you can make your dreams to come true. But with this process, I don't know how, but it happens. It really happens, and it happens quick. But it also depends on your belief system. So if you don't believe in this process, if you don't trust, if you have like this, is it true, is it not true, could it be, it's not gonna work. Okay. Okay. So if you have any questions, you can put them under the video, so I'll answer to them. I'll be very glad to answer all of your questions. Okay, and what do we do during this process? In this process, by doing regression, I have 2 sessions that do. I do individual sessions of regression, and also I do group regression sessions. When I have group regression sessions, before the process, I have like half an hour, like 30 minutes, to explain about the process, what is regression, what is going to happen, what to expect people, and also I explain all about the fears for the people who come for the first time, because there are a lot of people who are coming to a group regression for the first time, and they're not familiar with the process, and they don't know what is going to be. And we people, we are afraid, not from the process, but we're afraid from the unknown, because we don't know what is going to happen. So that's why I have for about half an hour to explain what is regression, what's going to happen, and what are the typical questions before the process. And also some of the people who are from the group, if they have any questions before starting the process, they can ask. And then I start. It's like a meditation, like visualization. We're trying to get that altered state of the mind that we need to do regression. A little bit later, I'll tell you about the altered state of the mind and about the brainwaves. Okay, and when we start with the meditation, when we go to this altered state of the mind, we go into a past life, and all the people who are taking part in the process, for everybody is different, because nobody of the people is talking, only me as a facilitator of this process, only me, I'm talking and asking questions, and I'm giving the instructions, and all the people in this process, they just close their eyes and they're listening me, and they're going to their memories, and everybody goes to this place and time where is appropriate for him to find out an information that he needs, exactly in that time of doing regression. Um, some of the clients ask me to take them somewhere. For example, um, they like, for example, Egypt, and they say, please take me to Egypt. I think that I have a past life in Egypt. And I say, okay, it's okay, let's see. I cannot take you to Egypt. Let's see where your soul is going to take you. It's not important what do you want, but now it's important what your soul wants. And I have seen that during the session, everybody goes to this place and time where there is appropriate information for him to know. And this information is needed for him because it will help him. It will help the person to better his life, to make his life better. And everybody goes somewhere. And there are people who are coming to regression and who don't get the answer to all questions they have. Sometimes it happens because in regression, when we do regression, there are information which is important and information which is not important. And if someone didn't get the answer to a question, to some of the questions, it means that this information is not necessary for him right at this moment. He can try to look for that information later, and also in regression we get this information that we are supposed to get. Do you understand me what I mean? We get only this that we are ready to get, because there are things that we are not ready there. For example, we are not ready to get them yet, because also regression works gradually, like spoon by spoon, pieces by pieces. And this is in this way because our mind it's like a muscle and it needs to be trained. So regression and staying in this altered state of the mind, it's practice, and as much as you practice, as much as you stay in this altered state of your mind, as easy you can manifest miracles in your life. I can teach you about that. How to stay in this altered state and how to manifest to get what do you need to get. Okay. And when we go in a past life, we see some scenes, and after that we come back. Also, we have time after the practice for the participants to ask questions, if they want to share their experience. And I'm very happy if some of the participants in the group regression share their experience, because it is good for all the participants, because by sharing, by saying something, all the people find something for themselves. It's very interesting, but it works like this. And also the regression is a practice that we have to talk about, we have to explain with examples, and we have to talk about it, so more people to understand about this practice, because who knows, You might have a friend of yours that might need just exactly of this practice, or you could be, or you could have the need to do this practice. So share with your friends, with your relatives about this practice. It really works very good and very fast. And I told you about the group regression when I start doing the when I do the group regression. Now I'll tell you about the individual regression. When I do the individual regression, I also have like an interview with the client, and this interview is between me and the client, and ask him questions because I want to know the reason why he comes to this process, and what he wants to find, and what he wants to get by this process. This is very important, and the interview is very important for me. I ask about his health, about his family, about his job, if he has any problem, if he has medicines, if he takes medicines, if he has physical pain or illnesses. I ask about these things because it's very important to me, because when we do the regression, after that we connect to our oversoul or higher soul, and ask questions. Sometimes it depends on the session and on the questions of the client. Also, I do this meet the client with his guides and his angels, and sometimes people get very good instructions about their life, what to do, how to do it, exactly what to do. It's really interesting. And I do the interview with the person. After that we go to a past life, and after that we connect to the oversoul or with the guides or with the angels of the client. And after that we have time when I bring the client back, we have time to share, and I can give him some instructions to think, to look, and also during the individual regression I record it. I make a recording, and after that I send the recording to the client. This recording is very important because the client can't hear himself what he is telling, and it is good for him, because when he has the recording, he can listen and listen and listen, because the regression is reminding a memory, and you know that the memories fade away, and sometimes we forget something, but sometimes these things are very important. So that's why I put a record on while I'm doing the individual sessions. Okay, and now I was going to tell you about the outer state of the mind and about the brain waves. So we have left brain and right brain. Our left brain is connected, and it is responsible for the discipline, for the rules, for doing things by list, by rules. It is very strict, and it is like the man's energy. Okay, and it is very logical. It is step by step, it is logical, and it looks for the logic all the time. It needs the logic and it needs the logical explanation. This is our left brain. And our right brain, it is responsible for our emotions, for our feelings. Also, from the right brain, it comes the artistism, when we write, when we paint, for example. These things, the artistic things, come from the right brain. And also, all the scenes, all the feelings, all the emotions that we have experienced in this life or in all our previous lives, it stays in the right part of the brain, and we don't have access to this memory in our normal state of the brain. We have access to these memories only when we're in outer state of the mind. So I'll tell you about the outer state of the mind and how our brain works. Okay, our brain works in 4 brain waves. Right? In 4 brain waves, and we have alpha, beta, delta, and delta brain waves. So the beta brain waves are the waves when we are awakened. We're wide awake. Our body is awakened and our mind is awakened. And we go in alpha when we're focused on something. Alpha is the first outer state of our brain, of our mind. And I bet right now that all of you are in alpha, because you're listening what I'm saying, you are watching me, and alpha is the state of the mind, of the brain, when our body is awakened, but we're focused in one thing. We're listening to the news, for example, we're watching a TV, we're watching an interesting movie, or we're reading an interesting book. So in all this time when we are doing some things like this, we naturally change our state of the brain and we go in alter state of the brain. We go in alpha, and this is the first level of trance. We are in alpha. Also, if you work in an open space, and when you need to work and to focus on something, you need to shut all the noises around and to focus and to work. It doesn't matter what you're working, but when you're focused, you go into alpha, and this is a natural state of your brain and your body. Okay. Also, when you're driving your car and when you know the way, sometimes you don't think with your left brain. When you're driving, you're just watching the lines, watching the signs, and you're thinking about something else. Also, in this time, you're in alpha, you're in outer state of your brain. Also, when you're driving in the highway, because you're doing this all the time and it's all the same, it becomes automatically, and it becomes a little bit boring, because for a long time you're doing only this, and you're pushing the pedal, and in this time, uh, it is called road hypnosis. You're in the first level of trance, in alpha, and you're hypnotized. Um, Also, another interesting thing I'm going to tell you, a lot of the people, I have clients that they come to my office to do the regression and also other practices, and they asked me, what do you use? And I said, I use hypnosis, and also I use meditation. It depends on the client, and it depends on the problems, and it depends. And I had a client, and he said, I bet you cannot hypnotize me. And I said, okay, let's see. And in this connection, I want to tell you that we're hypnotized most of the time, because when we are working, when we're reading a book, when we're listening to music, or when we're watching a TV, we're hypnotized, because we're in the first level of trance. We're in an altered state of our mind, and we're hypnotized. Um, Also, when we put the TV on, the only uh, first 60 seconds we're in beta, and after that, in 60 seconds, we're already hypnotized, and we go in alpha, because we are watching and listening to the TV. Okay, and the next brain waves are theta, and they're the deepest level of trance. And in these brain waves, I do the regression. In these brain waves, our body is relaxed, and the mind and the our brain is focused. Mhm, mhm. And our brain is like clear, uh, because when we are in theta, um, we are in our right brain, so we can access our memories, our feelings, our thoughts, all the pictures that we have seen, everything. We can access them only when we're in theta. The theta is the state that I make the regression, and it is also natural state of the body, and we are in these states for 2, 3, 4 times a day. We're in this state right before going to sleep, just before for fall asleep, and we're in this state when we wake up, when we open our eyes. We are in theta, then we go in alpha, and then we go in beta. We are wide awake. So that's why I'm telling you about these brain waves, and I'm telling you that during the regression I use the natural state of the body and the mind, because we use it, and we put this into use to help us during the process. So it is nothing weird, nothing strange, and nothing that can make you to be feared and to be afraid of this process, because there are people who are afraid of this process, and they say, I'm very curious, I want to do the regression, but I'm afraid. And when we start to talk, when I explain about the process, about the brainwaves, that it is a natural state of the body and the mind, people calm down. That's why I'm telling you this. Yes, and theta. Also, we're in theta uh, when we are dreaming, when we're sleeping and we have dreams, we are dreaming. We're in theta, and we're in deep sleep, in a very deep sleep, when we go in delta. Delta are the other brain waves that we go, and we go in delta when we fall asleep. Our body is relaxed, and our brain, our mind is also relaxed. It's sleeping. It's not here. It's gone. And when I do the regression, when I do this process, I keep the people in theta. I keep the clients in theta, and we go to theta via meditation, and we relax the body, and after that we naturally change the state of the brain, and we go to theta. And when we go to theta, I start to ask questions, and people see, people explore their previous lives, or they explore things that they have happened before to them, and also they explore these situations, these emotions that right now in this moment they block them. They block them in doing something. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. And during this practice, as I said, um, everybody sees what he is supposed to see, and everybody sees, feels, and finds information that he needs right exactly in this time. And people come with interesting questions, but also there are universe questions, and every client asks them. One of the questions is, what is my purpose? Why I am here? What do I need to do? Am I on the right way? Or what is my mission? What is my mission is the most common question. What is my mission and what is my purpose? And yes, you can understand what is your mission and what is your purpose by this process. I have this group regression. It is called What is My Mission? I will do it for you probably the next month, we'll see. But it is called What is My Mission? And I made this group regression because I saw that there were people with this question: what is my mission? What is my purpose? Why I am here? What are the lessons that I need to learn? And all the questions like this. And I made a group regression, and in this group regression we ask all of these questions, And in one of the group regression that I had, there was a lady that she found information for herself, um, that she's painting, and she's painting very good, and she was happy by doing this. She was really happy in doing this, and after the regression, in this time to share, she shared her experience, and she was like this: oh, no, 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 this is very strange. No, it can't be. I have never mm, be painting. How could be a painter? And I said, but try, give this time to yourself, just to try, just try, you see. And she said, no, 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 this is not for me. And I said, okay, write down everything that you experienced, that you have experienced on this group regression, and after that, in few months, look in the information. You will be changed, and you will change your mind, but give yourself a try. And she said, okay, and she was like very surprised of the information that she had. But sometimes people need time. Yes, they need time to believe in this. To believe in this, and to believe in themselves, that they could do this. Okay. And also I have another girl on group regression, that she came, and on the question, what is your mission, she had the information that she will understand her what is her mission when she becomes a mother. So I'm waiting to see what will happen with her, and I'm curious to understand what will be her mission. And also I have very interesting examples, and very interesting cases. Right now I'm working with a lady, and I'm very proud of her, and I'm very proud of her job, because we started like 2 or 3 months ago. In the beginning, she comes to a session every week, but now she comes twice a week, or yeah, the last month she came just one time. And a lot of miracles in her life. The first time when she came to the office, she was like, she sat down on the couch and she said, "Oh my God, I don't know from where to start. It's such a mess. I don't know." And I said, "Okay, just start from somewhere. The first thing that comes to your mind, just start with this." And we have talked. After that, we made a regression, and she found out very interesting information for her and for her husband. And only after the first regression, she made her relationship better. She didn't have good, healthy relationship with her husband, but after the first regression, something happened, and it's not something happened. Just she changed, because when we do practices like this, we change. We really change. We change our attitude. Oh my God, I cannot say this word. We change our attitudes to the things, to the problems, or to the issues that we have. So we do really change, and it is very easy for us to change, because the change is the most common thing in our life. And she has really good things in her life, um, thanks to the process and thanks to the regressions. She made her relationship very good with her husband. She had some problems with the money. Now they are gone. Also, she has problems with her job, and also she is a type that she is very controlling, because she is working with men, and her job is a job not for a women but for a man. It's very how to say, a lot of rules, there is a lot of discipline, and she is very strict, and she is doing this job like a man. And now she says, it was very hard for me to do this job, because this job is for a man, but I'm doing it because this is the thing that I can do. But lately it is very hard for me. And she shared last time when we had a meeting, um, she shared that she changed, and the attitude to this rules and to everything change. And she said, I'm changing, and I feel more feminine energy right now. I feel more like a woman right now. Before, because before, by doing this, I felt like a man, but now it's different. And when I feel like a woman, I do, and all the things come to me very easily. I attract them very, very easily. And yes, it is like this. And now she has great relationship. She has no problem with the money. He has abundance. He has prosperity. Also, she has some issues with her kid. Her kid has some physical problems, and they have been to many doctors, and they couldn't find the right diagnosis to put to the kid. But now she says that she found doctors that they're finding what is the purpose for her kid, and everything is going to places, and everything is good. And I'm very happy, and I'm very proud with this woman, because sometimes changing, sometimes it's easy, but sometimes it's not. It depends on us. Yes. And yeah. But also now I want to say something about this woman. She trusted in the process, and she believed, and her belief system was that this process, this method, will help her. And I say, in the beginning, before we start, I told her, if you believe in this method, if you have trust in it, if you trust me, everything is gonna be alright. And she said, yes, I do believe you. Yes, I do trust you. Yes, I do believe that this process will help me. And it really helps when you believe. Another interesting case that I had, it was with a client. He came with another tissues, another problems. It's not so serious problems, but yes, he find his answers, and also he told me because he saw a past life, and this past life was during the war, the Second War, and it was somewhere in Germany, and he was there fighting there, and he was on a high position, and he had a friend. Uh, Also, his friend was his colleague, but my client thought that they're the best friends, and they help each other. But in this past life, he saw that his friend shooted him, and his past life, this life, his life during the Second War, ended up. Um, when his friend shooted him, and his friend shooted him right here in the back, in the neck. And after the session, when we have a little talk with the client, he told me, now I see. Do you know what? I had a pain, a physical pain here, and this pain stays till I was a kid, a little kid, and my parents took me to doctors, and after that, when I become a teenager, when I become a young man, I went to doctors also, but they didn't find the reason. They said that everything is okay with my body, with these things here, but he said that he has this pain, and this pain comes sometimes, not every day, not every time, but it comes sometimes to remind for itself. And after the session, he said, now I see where this pain comes from. And I said, yes, this is the answer, because by this process, by regression, you can receive physical and emotional healing. And sometimes this physical pain, they come from the past life. There is nothing to do with the body or with our body right now in this life, but they come from the past life, and it depends. Sometimes it matters the way that we have died, and if it was traumatically for our soul in our current life, sometimes it comes as a disease, as an illness, as a physical pain. So by regression, we can heal this pain, this illness, and these diseases. And in few days after the session, this client wrote me. He wrote me that the pain is gone, and he has no this pain right here anymore. And he said, this was very precious for me, and this information was very valuable for me, because that person that have shooted me now in my current life, he used to be my best friend. We grew up together, and we were very close friends, but something happened, and he said it wasn't a big deal, but there was a situation, and I felt that he betrayed me, and I said, okay, and I said, I asked him, when happened this in your current life. And he said, when I was 20 years old. And I asked him, do you remember how old have you been in this past life that you have seen in Germany? And he said, yes, I was 20 years old. And I asked him, do you see now? Do you see the connection? Your soul remembers that this person mm, did to you something, and he did because he was envy. He was envied him because his position was bigger than his, and he was envy, and that's why he shooted him. And I said, does this make sense now? And he said, yes. Oh my god, that's interesting. And guess what? This client is one of the biggest fan of this process. And he uses this for time to relax, time to find answers, and sometimes just for curiosity to see what kind of information there is for him. Okay. I have, oh my god, I have a lot of information to share about the past lives. I have a lot of examples during this practice, and I really have a lot of information. Now I try to tell you more about that. I try to cover the most main topics about this, and if you have any questions, just let me know. You can write under the video, or you can email at astrolatauk at gmail.com if you have any questions, and I'll be glad to see you on 5th of October. I'll be very glad if you join this group, Regression for Love. Okay, I'm Mariyana. Thank you very much that you joined me today, and I wish you all the best with much love and much respect for you. Thank you very much.